the new mayor is going to be a Marxist, communist, far left. Nothing good is going to come out of that. Sex predator equal human trafficking as well. Those things are linked. They just discover that they were a trafficking of sex toys in the form of a child in Europe, and the news moved very fast to US, and they find the same thing in US now. 700,000 people were victims of human trafficking. In those $700,000, we're talking about Florida, 100,000 of those were children. I recommend everybody to do the same. Now, sex predator equal human trafficking as well. Those things are linked. For example, I don't know if you know, guys, but in the state of Florida, there is 700,000 people who are victim of human trafficking.
I got an interesting question. I don't want to miss this question. Thank you, Samantha from Austin, Texas, to write to us about this. She asked, do you think these international scandals like the Shane or illegal sex tech distributed in the United States are being purposely ignored by our government?
Maybe. There's a lobbyists, like we know all of those companies sponsoring politics and other parties. And yes, probably because, there is things that happen. Look, Epstein list, we talk about.
We talked about that last time. And you were talking about California and the destruction of California by their own politicians. So here is what makes me wonder what's going on in the minds of the people who are allowing, for the sake of money, these corporations are acting as an agent, as a shell, to be distributor of fulfilling agencies of Temu and Chain. How do you allow them to reach your families and the families of the American families with stuff that is deprivating?
Yeah, I agree with you. But before you want to order a sex toys, you go online and you order it from a sex adult toys website. Okay, you have to be certified that you are over 18 years old.
But not for children. That's my point. Why would the United States, why, if to your point, what the government is allowing companies?
It is not allowing. I'm sure the government is not allowing to sell sex toys who looks like a child. I'm sure they are not.
Okay.
You understand that? They just discover that they were a trafficking of sex toys in the form of a child, okay, in Europe. And obviously, the news moved very fast to US, and they find the same thing in US now. They're just not saying anything right now because I don't know the reason, but maybe it's gonna blow. Maybe in the next 2 days we're gonna hear about it. But right now, nobody talk it in the mainstream media because they are fighting about the government shutdown and to put the fault on the Democrat or the Republican. I mean, every time
There's a lot of destruction.
yeah, you open the news, the Democrat, the Republican, this, everybody's throwing the rock at each other. So obviously there is no room for any other news now, okay? It's a big concern for the American people, but I don't think, I'll be honest with you, that the U.S. government will allow this kind of things, okay?
Well, they start to track down and shut down companies, LLC shells companies that are funded and opened by Chinese individuals who are not vetted.
Of course. And it's great, good. They need to close this company. They need to put those people in prison. And for a long time, okay? This is unacceptable. To go back to what I was just talking before, like 700,000 people were victims of human trafficking. In those $700,000, we're talking about Florida, 100,000 of those were children. You understand? So it's bad. We're not talking about small number here. We're talking about
Alarming numbers.
alarming number. Why? Because, human trafficking, it's more lucrative than drugs, selling drugs. Why? Let me tell you why. The reason, because this is something just came up not too long ago. The reason number one is a drug, you sell it one time, okay? And human trafficking can be sold up to 40 times a day. 40 times a day. This person can be forced to have sex with people, okay? So this is, and again, we're talking about human trafficking 60% of the human trafficking is labored, okay, in the world. In Florida, human trafficking mostly it's sex slavery, okay, prostitution, and then you have 100,000 of those. 700,000 are children. But again, parents, be aware of your children, what they're doing, where they're going, who they're talking to online, okay, on the phone, by text messages. Today, you gave electronic freedom to your children that we didn't have that. Okay, my freedom was going to play with my friend outside in front of my house, and we were used to play soccer or, riding bicycle, and it was fun. Okay, today they spend their time with these devices that could be poison. Okay, you're opening a new world with
That's
no limit to your kids.
Hey, we're going to shift a little bit gears here. We are going to definitely continue going into this,
Sure.
but I got questions from other of our audience
Question, go ahead.
that they want to talk about the issue of the influx of money that is coming to the United States from investors that are moving out of New York because of the new mayor. Okay,
Oh,
and so a lot of HOA condominiums are going to get a lot of money for investments and properties that are going to be coming to Florida because people are leaving. It's a fact. People are leaving out of New York for the dysfunction of New York, for the breakdown of almost the breakdown of the government. And now with this new mayor that has limitations as far as what he can do, even if he's promised the world, a lot of people understand that the panorama is to leave New York. Now they're coming to Florida, and the money's coming to Florida. You know,
Florida, good for Florida.
yes, but you know that there is a lot of HOA fraud,
Fraud, yeah.
and a lot of people who are behind the management of that money will probably take advantage of that. Do you think this is going to be an increase of fraud cases in the HOA industry based on the fact that the money influx is coming and there is no oversight
Well,
or
what
no
I know,
background checks?
yeah, what I know now, it's the HOA, and okay, there is two things. So people don't understand the difference between a HOA and a condominium association. There's two different regulation. For example, HOA, unfortunately, there is no organization or state organization who are regulating HOA. They're only regulating condominium association, which is the DBPR, and the DBPR regulate only condominium association. They do not regulate HOA. Okay, and HOA, it's a little bit like a wildfire. Okay, everybody do whatever they want. They have a bylaw. They're creating bylaws. There is a lot of abuse, and I, as an investigator, I did, and we do a lot of HOA and condominium fraud, but most of the fraud that we are busy on, it's HOA.
Okay.
So HOA, it's house. Condominium, it's buildings over 3 story. Okay. HOA can be a small building as well. Okay. But as soon as it's over 3 story, it became a condominium association. But definitely more people, more real estate transaction, more people are going. I mean, most of the people love to buy a apartment on the beach. Okay, it's condominium association. Now, who's gonna leave New York? Question: business, people with money, middle classes, some middle classes. Okay, because it's gonna be difficult to live in. It's already difficult. New York is very expensive. Okay,
Yes.
like the new mayor coming up is being saying that he's going to freeze rent, which is okay up to a certain level. I think he should reconsider what he's doing, because freezing rent means um, everything in New York is expensive. Okay, you have a state tax that we don't have in Florida and Texas, so already you're paying more. Okay, uh, so that state tax is going to be. It's always been on the landlord as well. Okay, the maintenance. You maintain the building, you have a 7-8% more to pay than Florida. So all the prices is also due on the cost of living. Okay. Now, I believe if he want to help his city as the mayor of New York, the best way is to remove the state tax. That will bring more people in his city. That will bring more power of spending for his people. And like Florida, like Texas, okay, a lot of business will come to New York to open businesses because they know that they don't have a state tax.
Yeah, but in New York, it's not as easy as it probably could be, because you remember Adam, the Major Adam, and the scandals of Major Adam in New York?
Yes.
There is limitations in the way you can basically use funds in New
New
York.
York, it's a catastrophe because before Adam, you had another mayor. It was a catastrophe. This guy was also a Democrat, but more I mean, it was crazy.
Socialist side.
Socialist and corruption and everything. And then you had Cuomo, the governor of New York, who is not governor anymore. And then this far left extremist lady came up now, and everything is going crazy. Look, New York always used to be at its best when it was a capitalist city. Okay, it's the most powerful in business wise. Okay, it's the biggest city in US. Now, apparently, the new mayor is going to be a Marxist, communist, far left. Nothing good is going to come out of that. It's going to be a disaster.
Right.
I believe this is going to be the Gotham City. You know, the Batman movie, Gotham, the city who fell under the crime. And who's going to be the superhero? Batman, Superman, or whatever? You understand? It's not going to happen. It's not a movie. It's going to become reality. You understand?
Absolutely, Josh. Sure. So
But this is my opinion. Now, I might be wrong. Maybe he's going to do a great job. But, you know,
it's difficult.
history, if you go back in the past, everything from communist, okay, Marxist, never been successful. It was a catastrophe. Look, Venezuela.
Yeah,
Venezuela was one of the most richest country in the world.
it continues to be.
Right now, it's not.
Well,
Is no, is not. They don't have money to buy shampoo or soap. Okay.
yes, the
but
people are not rich. The country in resources is very
yeah,
rich.
but where the resources are going to Russia, China?
Oh yeah, they are already
Yeah,
mortgaged.
so it's not going to those people. The country, to me, a country, it's people who live in the country. Okay, the Venezuelan are the country. You understand that?
Yes,
All right.
the country and the people.
is dead. Why? Because the Venezuelans are suffering. They have no food. Practically, it's difficult to eat. It's difficult to buy the basic things that you need. It's very difficult.
Well, for the
Toilet
majority,
paper,
for the majority,
majority, 80%,
more. I would say
90%.
yes.
Okay,
I would
10%. They are the
They are the ones who are on top of the game, just
They are on top of the
profiting,
game because
profiting out of the the crooks.
they're friend of Maduro, correct? Family of Maduro, friend of Maduro, and that's how it's gonna be.
Going back to the subject of what's going to happen in Florida with these condominiums, right? A lot of people, you've seen in years an increase of scams happening for a lot of HOA condominiums because, like you said, it's private governance, correct?
It's gonna be worse. Let me tell you why. Because first, the New York Post was posting, I don't know how many, all of a sudden, the day after the election of this new mayor, they were putting advertisement for luxury property in Florida.
Correct.
Okay? That next day.
Yep.
And the real estate is going to go high now because now we're creating a demand. And people was going to move to Florida from New York are the rich people. People with money, people with businesses. They're going to move their businesses. They're going to move their offices.
Sure.
They're going to move their houses. Everybody, a lot of people, they're going to lose a lot. They don't understand that capitalists, it's what built United States in 250 years. In Europe, their country, they have thousands of years of history. They're not even 50% of the level of the US. Why? Because US were built on capitalism, not on communist. Okay? It's great opportunity to make money. Everybody can make money. If you're a hard worker, you can make money. If you want to live on food stamp, you're not going to be successful. Now, you have a choice. You can get food stamp and sit down and doing nothing, okay, and live off the government and keep complaining about your life. Or you can move your ass, I'm sorry, and work hard and make money. This country gives you the opportunity to do that. Okay? So it's crazy what's going on in the government now. We learned a lot. Before, everything was done under the carpet. Today, it's exposed.
So how can we, as a private investigative agency, help these people, these directors that are concerned about the new landlords, the new owners that they are going to share their HOA?
Again, what I recommend, how can you use a private investigator? Okay, you're going to come to a new state with new opportunities. You don't know who you're dealing with. I will recommend you to contact a private investigator before you do any business transaction with anybody, especially when you exchange money or you put your
Before exchanging the money.
before exchange of the money. Just call me, call us, or call any private investigator and do a due diligence on the person. Make sure that person is not someone who's been involved in maybe 6, 7 lawsuits for similar deal that you're gonna go through with him, which means he take the money and doesn't deliver it. So that you can see that because you can see judgment in court. Okay, it happens every day. Do a due diligence to see if the guy is not a scammer.
I know that you're going to like this question. The new president of Mexico, the first woman in power.
Yes.
Congratulations to her. And we believe that's a major, major step for Mexico because,
I don't know about that.
well, it's a major step in the sense that, look, from the sex slavery and the human disaster that happens in that country, 10 women a day are killed and 20 or 30 are raped
Sure.
or more.
More.
She is coming with an agenda that is promising a lot of consciousness around
I don't believe
women.
her.
You don't believe her?
No.
Okay. So why not?
Why? Because I think she's not a good president for the country. First of all, she's a puppet, and to me, she's manipulated by the cartel, like her predecessor, who put her in place. By the way, okay.
Okay.
So, okay, she's playing around, showing the good stuff. Oh, I'm gonna help girls. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. But her main job should be stop the cartel. But I can tell you, if she's a good president or she will do a good job, she will go after the cartel and she will collaborate it with US to use the power of US to
You're saying
fight.
that if she does that, she will become a good president.
Yes.
But you doubt that she's going to do it.
People are tired. I know people in Mexico, they're tired of the cartel. They're tired of the drug trafficking. Every time we say, oh, I'm from Mexico. Oh, cartel, drug.
Abuse, women abuse.
Oh, sex trafficking, human trafficking. When you come from a country, at one point you're scared to say, I'm from Mexico. Because obviously it's not a good image of the people. And I know Mexico. I go there very often. I love this country. And it's not the reflection of the people of Mexico. They are nice people, okay? And unfortunately, don't get me wrong, okay? But the Mexican president in place right now, I'm not impressed by what she's doing. I'm sorry. She's a puppet.